And good morning, or maybe good evening, good night, good early morning, depending on when you see this video. I'm Jay Coopin Payne, and I am presiding today on this August the 5th, August the 7th, 2020, which is International Beer Day. Hooray for that. And of course, because of the day of the week it is, that means it is Bubble Friday. So the meaning of me coming on this very grainy video and being poorly shaven, it's been a long 2 weeks, I'll shave in the morning, I promise, is the fact that we're going to bring up another chance to hopefully find a way to enjoy the weekend, enjoy the end of the week, and get some relaxation by blowing bubbles. That wasn't a good one. We can't continue without let's do it. They'll get better, trust me. So Bubble Friday is a sort of thing that I created for a group of people at a former place of employment as a way to chill out, relax, and just enjoy the fact that we survived the week, 5 days, in some cases 7 days, or people who had extended period of work and stuff, of just the torturous hell that we were going through at the time. And all it was a simple, cheap, and extremely silly way to literally blow off steam by joining out in the break area and just blowing bubbles out at folks. Bubbles were cheap, and it was just something you kind of do throughout the day. We took pictures, we laughed about it, we goofed off, we put some things on social media, and some other friends from other places saw it and was like, cool, can we do that too? I was like, sure, why not? I own it, you can do it. Of course, don't really own it. But so a lot of other people sort of joined in on it, and then time passed and things changed and it went away. And so a friend of mine asked a couple months ago, in the middle of pandemic craziness, can we bring back Bubble Friday? That would be awesome. And while it didn't take me having to come to bring back Bubble Friday, apparently I did it. So for the past couple of weeks, I've been trying to do something as best as I can to do the expression. Now, like I said in the past, it was just a day of people coming throughout the day and kind of blowing bubbles and just kind of having fun and being silly. Can't really do that in my current work environment. It would be really silly and it just doesn't work. So what I have done is created just a posting, and sooner or later, maybe some sort of larger format of it where we can get together virtually and blow some bubbles. In fact, we'll probably make it in some cases if I get a steady time to do this. Time is at a premium in getting things done because I got work to do, that we can get together and just kind of sit here on the thing and blow bubbles. It's sort of easier to pop in these days because on Facebook and things like that, social media, you always see videos pop up, and if you have a few minutes, you check it out and blow and go with it, go with it for there. So all I'm asking you to do, just a little something on this Friday, assuming you work, these are your 5 days a week. Maybe this isn't quite your Friday in your work week. Maybe you actually work like me 7 days a week in your actuality. But on some point where you reach an end point of something, you take a moment to stop and breathe. And when you're blowing bubbles, you're literally breathing out the stress of the day, the stress of the issues, the stress of what's going on. So there's that. You can work on that. So stop by a dollar store, stop by a discount store, a Walmart, a Target, whatever, buy some bubbles. They come in very large packs. They're really cheap, but you got to buy them in large packs. So you have plenty of supply for a while and do that. As I said, it's also International Beer Day. So those bubbles go well on today as well. So if you're in the mood to deal with those type of bubbles, then please be responsible, but do your thing on your Bubble Friday. I noted in the description that I do have a gift coming from today, something that popped in my head that I want to do that is a bit more creative, a bit more working towards stuff. The oddity about all this social media things growing inside a pandemic world is I've become somehow now, not when I was actually trying to make a sort of living on it, but somehow now I've become sort of an expert. Well, I've become a go-to person for people asking them questions on how to do presentations, how to present in videos, how to present and create podcast stuff, how to basically just write a presentation. And that's something that's came about just because various people have seen me do various things, and now's the time that they need stuff. So what I'm presenting in a mini little webinar seminar thing, which I have the bones for right now, but need to actually do. I have a full day of work to get through, and of course, need to get rid of all this stuff, is a presentation. I believe I called it How to Be an Expert in Anything. I can't see the description right now, but essentially it's a listing of how it makes you an expert. Now, if you follow me for quite some time and follow my personal development stuff I've been doing for a while, and follow basically any random guru out there who's trying to sell you stuff, they will tell you that the way to be an expert is to essentially know more than the person you're teaching. And to them, you're an expert because you know more. And that's the basic part of it. But sometimes it takes a little bit of a game plan to actually convince people that you are an expert or you're knowledgeable in something. And you don't have to be the expert, just have to have enough knowledge to essentially carry on the conversation and be the voice be the voice to go back and forth to play off of things. This is essentially a sort of backdoor way of showing how to actually do an interview. I mean, that's something that's come through because I'm still working on some people who are starting to do more interview and more podcasting type stuff. So some of these notes are basically how to make yourself look presentable or sound presentable based on how the presentation is, and how to make yourself be an expert. So that when you say something, when they ask a question, you have a reply, and the reply comes back that it's confident, and it comes back that seems knowledgeable, and no one will instantly try to cut you down. Now, if you're a true expert, think about the Dr. Fauci's in the world. There'll be all sorts of people who want to cut you down because what you're saying goes against what they're doing for whatever reason whatsoever. He's talking about wearing masks, and people believe masks are a sign of fascism or whatever it is. So there's a lot of people who are fighting to discredit everything he does for the one little thing that they don't want to do. This probably won't get you along those levels, but it does get you close to figuring out what it is you need to know in responses to some of the at least standard questions that come to you as a rebuttal, and how to sort of wing it and go to if you can basically based on your skill and time and knowing what you're doing, to answer questions that are out of left field. Because if you do know a little bit about something, you have an opinion and know how things will work. They don't have to always be the best opinion or the right way, but you have some idea what goes on. Think about political pundits. They essentially, if there's two people running for office, they have a 50-50 chance of being right in who's going to win. And if they're wrong, that doesn't mean the statements they gave as parts of their facts were wrong per se. That just means they didn't add up to in the final tally. The one person could be an evil warmonger, the other person could be a silly tree hugger, and those can be true. But that doesn't mean in the end, the winner, they picked a tree hugger over the warmonger. I think it did the wrong hands there. And that doesn't mean that that's necessarily invalid. The points they put out there aren't necessarily invalid because the response, the end point, did not come true. So that's how people who have 50-50 shots of winning things are always on TV, because the people that they say were going to win didn't win. So they don't have jobs in those administrations. It's showbiz, stuff like that. And so also coming up this weekend, I am going to work on this week's episode of the weekly wrap up, which I pulled the data this morning before I came in for work. I have not crunched those numbers yet. I'll probably get a chance to crunch them later in the day, or of course early tomorrow. Tomorrow I have a very odd Saturday. Tomorrow I won't be doing my radio stuff. I have a event that has to be worked here at my day job here at college. So I will probably, because I'm not doing radio and don't have to be here that early, I will probably actually record this episode early, like I did back in the day, and record it from home with some by the way, my wife has gone back to work at work, so I now have my studio space back. So I'm slowly building that back together, and so it'll probably be a chance tonight to work on that space and test it out tomorrow by recording that podcast in the morning. So look for details on that coming out in the next day or so, the full version, hopefully. Also, a lot of things working out to just include the continuation of a lot of things. And if you follow the 10-Minute Life Lesson podcast, you'll note that we are more or less back. I went ahead and pre-recorded a couple episodes, so we have some in the can ready to go. But we're trying to get the momentum back up, get that one rolling up. It's oddly enough, my oldest podcast, even though it had the split there and it's had the name change, but it's also my most popular and most profitable podcast, oddly enough. So it's one that's a little harder to do it sometimes because you've got to really be sincere about it, but that's there as well. Look for those going on. Now, if you are getting something out of me popping up in your random video screens and just kind of yammering and blowing bubbles, which I'm not sure what that gives you, but gives me some fun to do it, then why don't you consider helping out the effort, joining in? You don't get if you don't ask, and so this is my ask, and I have to get better at the asking part. So this is not a major contribution. It's not a large gifting thing. But if you go to buymeacoffee.com/jclevelandpayne, the link is in the description for the video. You can click that link and essentially buy me a cup of coffee. You basically give me a couple bucks for a cup of coffee. You can buy me monthly coffees if you want to. That's something that's there as a part of the actual service. But if the things I'm doing are worth seeing and doing and what's not, that's just one way to make sure I have a little bit in the kitty to help do things. It helps buy bubbles, which come in large supply. It helps buy supplies on other things. It helps buy equipment like the light behind me for bigger projects and the kettle for coffee as well. And it just helps the effort. It's social proof. If more people are showing that, hey, Jay's doing good stuff, more people will help out Jay do good stuff. So if the stuff I'm doing is great, if anything, just leave a comment. And I don't know why I'm not seeing comments on my thing right now. I have using service that's sending to multiple places and it's supposed to show all the comments. I'm not sure why it does not, but thank you for everybody who's popped in here live and have seen this and thrown a comment there. Thank you for anybody who will see this throughout the day or the next couple days. I know it won't be all that fresh by late Saturday, but thank you anyway. And just thank you for being a friend. And I always end these things, and I'll explain what it is. I'll think about telling you congratulations for watching this video, because as little as that seems, there are some people who did not wake up this morning and some that woke up but couldn't even muster the effort to pull out a phone and watch a video. So congratulations for doing that. Since you're up, since you're moving, since you're conscious, make an effort to do something that is great out there in the world today, because the world needs more people doing more great things. And it doesn't matter how big or small, how great it is, or how great it is. It will be great, but how great it is or how great it is, every little effort helps, especially right now with all the crazy, silly, just weird doom and gloom darkness that this world is literally going through right now. So I love you guys. Pray for you guys. And well, I was playing that statement. That statement is the outro for one of my podcasts that comes back and forth based on how things going. Probably won't bring it back anytime soon because of everything going on. But it's called the Project Positive Message, and it's just essentially the Project Positive was to put out a positive message every single day. It's oddly enough hard to record a 5-minute thing for every single day. It's a lot harder than you think because one, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes production, and it takes having 365 different positive messages, or more or less different positive messages to give out. So at the end, the biggest thing was to congratulate folks for, getting up and getting after it and having a chance to make today a positive day. So whenever I pop up here or there, I try to congratulate you for taking the time to waste your 15 minutes watching me, and thanking you for just being up, being active, and whatever good thing you're going to do today will be. Because it's early, or maybe it's late while you're watching this, but there was a good thing, or there is a good thing coming. If not today, tomorrow. And I believe that every day that you are on the planet and you have the ability to think and comprehend, a good thing is coming from somehow, somewhere, to somebody, even if you don't really always understand and get it. Sometimes the small things you do, butterfly effect, not quite randomness, But the things you do are a thing that ramps things up that need to happen as a session for other folks to have things happen. With that, I'm going to blow a few more bubbles, get on to my Bubble Friday breakfast. We'll have Bubble Friday beer much, much later. But it's going to happen. It is definitely going to happen. I keep doing that. So enjoy your International Beer Day. If you're not a beer drinker, root beer, or not an alcoholic beverage drinker, root beer is just as fine. Enjoy your Bubble Friday. Even if you don't do bubbles, just take some time to breathe. Maybe I should call it Breathe Friday, but bubbles are much more fun. This might have a bad batch here. Maybe that's what's going on. And enjoy the rest of your week, your upcoming weekend, and your days going forward. Thank you so much for spending time with me here. More details on what we've been talking about are in the description for the video. I may pop something in the comments. That's it. I'm done. I know where my glasses are. And now I'm going to get out of here. Thank you and enjoy this great day and your great life.